What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen, if you're already a subscriber. But if this is your first time joining me on today,
Hello, motherfucker.
y'all be sure to hit that subscribe button, okay? Because we're on our way to 1K. We're almost there. We're halfway there. Anyway, I know we can do it. And I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway. So the sooner we get there, the better. If you already done found your way onto the channel, baby, you done already gave me my view. You might as well click subscribe. It's free, okay? So with that being said, tonight I am going to be doing a free reading, one of my 3 free readings. So after this reading, I have one more left, and she already knows who she is. I had a lot of stuff to do, and so I know I might be taking some time actually getting around to them. So you guys work with me, but I already told you I prioritize my paying clients first, and then between that and then other work, I just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, y'all. So cut me some slack. Okay. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this free reading. Okay. So, this person didn't let me know if they wanted me to disclose their name or not. So, I'm just going to go by your initials, which is RB. I'm pretty sure you know who you are. So, I'm going to go ahead and read your email the way that I always do, and then we'll get started with the actual reading of your chart. So the email says, let's see. I mean, because he says some stuff that kind of ain't got nothing to do with this, so I don't think it'll be worth reading it. Okay, here we go. So I don't know what to tell you other than I'm an 18-year-old androgynous gay male who has a barbed tongue, and sometimes it almost comes off as if I have a chip on my shoulder. I have a very strong and intense sexual aura, and I can be very, in all caps, very manipulative in relationships and friendships, and I have the worst, all caps, worst mean streak ever. I'm always analyzing strangers based off of how they interact with other people, which makes sense considering I'm going to college for forensic and clinical psychology, and after that, I'm going to work in the FBI as a criminal profile. So, and then he gives me his birth chart information. So it really wasn't a question, but more so, just an overview, a statement, I guess. Okay, Mr. RB. So let's go ahead and take a look at your chart. So you were born on January 16th, 2001. Oh shit. Look, I'm getting old. I'm getting old because I'm like after 2000s, I started looking like people were born in the 2000s. I be forgetting. It's me. I'm old. I'm old as fuck. Oh, but you said you were 18, so that makes sense. At 12:30 p.m., Chicago, Illinois. So this makes you a Capricorn sun with your sun in the 26th degree of Capricorn, which breaks down to the number 8. So that definitely reinforces that Capricornian energy as far as you probably being somebody who is very like hardworking, very rigid, kind of a type A personality. And that's exactly how you came across in the email as well. And the fact that you were very self-aware about how much of a dick you can be to other people, that sounds like some Capricorn shit. And then your sun is conjoined to your south node, to your south node in Capricorn as well. So you definitely, I believe it. You're probably somebody who's very, you can be very relentless, very mean to other people, very much a loner at heart, maybe even career focused, which is why I found it to be very interesting that you were very clear and very precise about what it is that you wanted to do career-wise. So this placement tells me that you're more than likely somebody who will probably stop at nothing to get what you want, especially as it pertains to status and career and recognition, because those are all of the things that Capricorns love oh so much. And then on the contrary, your family life and your personal life is a hot fucking mess with that Cancer North Node. So And I mean, you admitted yourself that you could be very manipulative to friends and family. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they're aware of this, and you probably don't. I mean, they probably don't fuck with you. And if they do fuck with you, if they haven't told you that they're on to your reindeer games, I guarantee you that they're talking about it when you're not around. Your moon is in the 29th degree of Libra. That 29th degree, sheesh, also known as that anaretic degree. It brings about lots of crisis. It brings about a lot of just weird circumstances. It could bring, especially with this Libra, it could bring about third party situations. So maybe in relationships, you got a lot of those. And then because your moon governs your emotions, I mean, your emotion, you could be a hot mess, full of emotional mood swings, and the way that, you probably have very strong reactions to things. You know what I'm saying? Which probably doesn't help the fact that you tend to be kind of fucked up with your friends and family and whatnot. Your Mercury, you actually have an Aquarius stellium, excuse me, and that explains a lot of what you describe as your mean streak, because it basically all of this Aquarius energy, because let's see, your Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, midheaven, and your black moon Lilith are all in the sign of Aquarius. And this can point towards somebody who is very, like, just kind of like emotionally detached in a sense, or detached from the feelings of other people, who can be very judgmental, condescending, somebody who can basically just completely disregard other people's feelings straight up. Straight the fuck up. And Aquarius is the natural ruler of the 11th house in the chart, and that basically is the house of friendships. It's the house of, your collective society, your organizations, your peers. Yeah. So you could definitely be even worse, somebody who uses people to kind of get what you want. That's not good. We're gonna have to fix that. Your Venus is in the 13th degree of Pisces, with your Mars in the 14th degree of Scorpio. Now, your Mars falls in your 7th house. Baby, that 7th house of relationships and marriage. And that this further reinforces, so that's why I believe you. This is like, it's driving home that manipulation factor, okay? Because this can make you very manipulative. And with you being a Taurus ascendant, Aries falls in your 12th house. So Aries is the sign, well, Mars is the ruler, of the sign Aries. So with Aries falling in your house of losses, it's more than likely you're going to experience a lot of turbulent relationships. And if you are as manipulative as you say you are, and I mean, based off of what I see in this chart, because either you're going to be the manipulator or you're going to attract other people who are going to do that to you. And so, yeah, you're going to, and you're young as fuck, you're going to attract a lot of situations that are going to be very unpleasant for you, sir. Especially in your, as far as your love life is pertained, you got a lot of living to do, and you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. But I would absolutely caution you to just be careful as far as the people that you choose to entertain relationship wise. Because you have your Pluto in your 8th house of death also, as well as your Chiron. And this could deal with you attracting people who, I mean, look to cause you bodily harm. You know what I'm saying? Having lots of, what do you call those things? Lovers quarrels and shit like that. Oh, also, I forgot, your stellium, your Aquarius stellium also deals with that androgynous, right? You said you were a gay androgynous male. So both homosexuality and androgyny can be pretty much summed up with your stellium in Aquarius. You have a lot of Aquarius energy. And your, let's see, one of your planets is aspecting, one of your Aquarius planets is aspecting your ascendant. And your ascendant governs the way that you look, the way that you appear in the world. So that further reinforces that androgynous theme. To to where you can outwardly kind of be, when people see you, you could be, some people look at you and be like, oh, is that a girl? Is that a guy? It produces that very androgynous, chic kind of look. But yeah, back to your personality, boo. And one thing I will say though, because I don't like to tear people down without extending a hand to help them up. The fact that you are very self-aware. I mean, because you blatantly told me, like, this is what I do. I'm very manipulative. I can have a very mean streak. This, that, and the third. That's half of the battle. That's half of the battle. The other half of the battle is actually doing something about it, which is going to take a lot of, that's going to come with time, like I said, because you're still young, and it might take a lot of effort. Well, it will take a lot of effort, but I also caution you, and I urge you to focus on your thinking, the way that you think, because the gag is your south node, and in astrology, your south node represents the habits, traits, things that you're comfortable with, your soul's kind of, I guess you could say, like, training wheels, your soul's training wheels, things that you feel comfortable doing. But as you grow older, they're going to put you in more uncomfortable situations throughout life because you're not supposed to stay there. You're supposed to develop the traits of your opposite sign, which is your north node. So with your south node, like I said, conjoined to your sun in Capricorn, this is going to make you somebody who is very much a loner. You probably don't even really like people. Like I said, for you, and it's a weird paradox, because for you to have a lot of this Aquarian energy, which, because Aquarians can be kind of social, you probably fall more on the spectrum of somebody who just like a Squidward. Like, you don't really fuck with people like that. You don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like being around people, or you find yourself like, that's why, you were talking about you were so judgmental of other people, but your south node and your sun are in your ninth house, and ninth house is naturally ruled by Sagittarius. And it governs philosophy, religion, long distance travels, high-minded education, high-minded ideals. So more than likely, your sense of superiority comes from, like, your beliefs. You probably think you're more, you probably think you're the smartest person in the room everywhere you go. Which is probably why you do have the tendency to judge other people. And a lot of that is that Scorpio Mars too, sitting back and kind of analyzing things. That Scorpio Mars also explains your interest in psychology and, things that kind of go deep, beneath the surface. But here with your sun in your south node in your ninth house, you have a karmic kind of past that involves you being over reliant on your spiritual beliefs. Maybe you were raised in a household that was very religious. If not even religious, maybe it was very spiritual. Maybe you find yourself to be somebody who is very drawn to spirituality and the occult and metaphysics and certain ideals and beliefs. But on the negative side, you're like too attached to these things. So much so that, like I said, you kind of stick your nose up at other people and you judge people based off of how, intelligent or wise or worldly and sophisticated you might find somebody else to be. And if they're not that way, then you deem them and what they have to say and their opinions on the world as useless, which is fucked up. And with your north node being in your third house of Cancer, you could even have, I don't know if you have siblings, but if you do, I'm pretty sure there's a strain there with your relationship. And yeah, not only do you have a karmic duty to fix that. So, and this is all a part of that north node in Cancer, learning how to cultivate relationships with other people in a way to where you're nurturing people and not manipulating them and judging them and sticking your nose up and being very just condescending and pompous about the shit. You know what I'm saying? You have a karmic duty to listen to other people. You and no, your ass don't know everything. And you young as fuck. You never gonna know everything, okay? You never will. But learning to value other people's ideas, other people's intelligence, because you have to understand there are people who cling as strongly to their beliefs as you do to yours. You know, there are people out there who feel just as strongly and believe in themselves just as strongly as you do yourself. So who the fuck are you to, show up in the world and call yourself the judge and juror of the people around you, and because it's one thing to be observant, but you definitely have, because in that Capricorn energy can produce a big sense of like, what do you call it? Like very snooty people, and it's gonna stunt your growth spiritually. Okay. And I think a lot of these lessons you're gonna come to learn as you grow older. Like I said, especially based off of the condition of, because your fourth house is in the sign of Leo and your Aquarius stellium is in your 10th house. So perhaps you even grew up like this, maybe your parents, one or both of your parents had a more detached approach, or maybe they relied very heavily on like education and what and they kind of made you feel like it's not about how people feel, it's about what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they kind of ingrained that in you. Maybe you grew up in a family where emotional connections, it wasn't that warm and fuzzy feeling, and that's okay. But and you don't have to be a warm and fuzzy person if that's not in your nature, but you are going to need people. Okay. And with a lot of these indicators in your chart, you have a habit of, mistreating the people around you, and by your own admission, right? Now, your Mars and your seventh house, it does explain some of your sexual, you said you were very sexual, but definitely this Pluto in your eighth house. Eighth house governs, it's the natural ruling house of Scorpio anyway. And it governs sex and taboo and trauma. Maybe you experienced a trauma. Maybe it was sexual abuse. Maybe it was, who knows? Maybe you're just into some really kinky ass shit. Straight up. Kinky ass shit with that Pluto here. And it's conjoined to your Chiron, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So there is this theme of like belief that's going on in your chart, like a theme of either you, like I said, relying on your already held beliefs, overly relying on those, or maybe you don't have any at all. You know what I'm saying? Usually with that Sagittarius 8th house, it can go one way or the other. But given that Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, it definitely produces somebody who has a very, very strong sexual appetite. So you could just be downright nasty. Nasty. But hey, just make sure you wrap it up, stay safe, to each his own, okay? Megan's not here to judge. But what I will say is that there is this weird paradox that exists between you not really liking people like that, like I said, being a loner at heart, being kind of like this person who you don't really consider yourself a part of a group or as equals with the people around you. But on the other hand, you enjoy sex. You enjoy having sex with other people. And for there to be sex present, on some level, there has to be some kind of intimacy, which I don't think you crave. I don't think you crave intimacy from other people. I think almost like an energy vampire. Like you could very well be an energy vampire and you suck the life out of other people, and you do it methodically intentionally. And I mean, this once again goes back to you even admitting yourself that you love, well, you didn't say you love to do it, but you are capable of being very, very, very manipulative with the people around you. And yeah, I think that those are some very dark-sided traits. You have a lot of dark-sided Scorpio and Aquarian traits that you're going to have to work out, and Capricorn traits that you're going to have to work out, because more often than not, they're going to lead you to some pretty lonely places, some places where you can get fucked up, some places where you find yourself around people who don't want to fuck with you like that. Nobody likes being around people like that, who act like that, who do those things. And your Venus and your Juno are in Pisces, which is in your 11th house of friendship. And I mean, yeah. I mean, is it your Juno? Your Venus, did I say, yeah, your Venus and your Juno, your Venus is conjoined to your Juno in Pisces in your 11th house. Yeah, so once again, just, I guess, reiterating that whole theme of deception, illusions. There is something nefarious about, and like I said, this is just the way astrology works in general. It could be something that you're doing or something other people are doing to you. So either you're being shady and funny and weird, and there's something going on like with you, or that's the case with your group of friends, you know. So all in all, this definitely, I mean, in its entirety supports what you admitted to. And I think you got your work cut out for you. And looking at just a few of these aspects in your chart, your Pluto squaring your Juno, and of course, Juno is the asteroid that deals with your relationships. So you're attracting, once again, dysfunctional ass relationships that are filled with drama and power struggles. And this could be you being manipulative. And since you admitted to it, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Same thing with your Venus squaring your Pluto. Your Mars, what is your Mars doing? Oh, you're squaring your Mercury. So this could reinforce issues with siblings if you have any. Yeah, bro, you got your work cut out for you, okay? So I'm gonna need for you to do better. Do better. And the good thing is you know about yourself. This Pluto 8th house, Pluto is all about investigating, going down into the depths, transformation, death, birth, or rebirth. And it's in your 8th house of death. So it's, it's in the natural house of Scorpio. And then with your Scorpio Mars, it's no wonder you're so aware, It's so much so that you enjoy picking apart other people, and you kind of do it for fun. So I'm going to need for you to take that same energy that you would kind of usually use to apply to other people and gauge other people's understanding of the world and gauge other people's actions and behaviors and why they do what they do. And I'm going to need you to direct that inwards and apply some corrective action. Okay? Take action. And that means I'm going to need for you to stop being so manipulative and work on being a better person, a better friend. Be to somebody else what you will want them to be to you. You feel me? So with that being said, I hope this reading resonated with you, Mr. RB. And yeah. Make sure you guys practice unconditional self-love so that you guys can love others. And until next time, aha!